I always like this because I get to learn more about y'all too. Main thing I have today is our birthdays. So here in a second, we're going to get to it. Here we go. Okay. Happy birthday to Roxana Ianna July 12th. Our very own Michelle Porton right here, July 17th, which was incorrectly listed as July 1st. So Glenn corrected me. Your husband knows your birthday. Cole Wilburn is July 23rd, and Mike Walker, July 26th.
Don't forget it.
Happy birthday, July babies. Love it. Mike, I'll never forget it because that's my mom's birthday. It's really easy to remember. Okay, so now club business. We are just moving right along. It's okay. I mean, I know y'all want to see it, but I have my cheat sheet here. So a couple of things. Michelle mentioned that we have the roundtable this Saturday, and I plan to be there, but I'm not sure if I can. I'll let you know. And then don't forget that next Tuesday, we have District Governor Howard Templin attending, and he has our presentation. He's going to tell us about the goals of Rotary International, as well as his goals and projections for the year. And then I told you about the All-American 4th of July. I wanted to make sure that I said thank you to Catherine and Nadia's entire family was there. We had a Wheel of Fortune wheel, and that was the hit. The line was longer for the Wheel of Fortune than it was for the food vendors. It was pretty awesome. The kids were wanting flags. We had flags and pinwheels and candy, and glow in the dark sticks and goggles and all this fun stuff. So at any rate, I'm not going to read these off to you, but we do have 5 awesome projects, service projects coming up in this coming month. And then we've got some awesome ones on the way for August. So please, I know John gave you a quick blurb and call to action for the Texas pool cleanup. So that will be awesome. And Tamara's not online, but I know she is leading the back to school bash. And I saw Glenn has some signups already for the Avenue K cleanup. I did that once, guys, and it's not good if you're OCD, because I wanted to pick up every little piece of. Michelle and Glenn were, no, Joy, you don't need to get all the cigarette butts. It's okay, but just. So anyways, and then the love packs are still going on, and looks like this Saturday we also have Jen doing another bed start. So I know they are very appreciative of that. So now, without further ado, we'll let Joanna introduce our illustrious guest speaker today.
So we are quite pleased to welcome Mr. Larry Allen to speak with us today with Wreaths of Honor. Apparently, he and James are old friends, and so you're going to have to tell us the story about that. But the way that I first knew about Larry and the Wreaths of Honor effort was through Mike Walker, who his hunting buddy knows you, and he forwarded information to me and said this would be, a good person to have come talk to us. Fortunately, we were able to slot him in right after July the 4th. So this is excellent. So let's give a big Rotary welcome to Larry Allen.
It's going to be hard because I use my hands. So I'm going to be doing this. But before we get started, seriously, Coach Thomas, I love this man. My wife used to work with him at Wilson Middle School. She was the counselor. No, she was the secretary for the counselor. And this man took 2 times, convinced my wife and I that we should go to Washington, D.C. with him, and about 60 kids.
I suckered you guys into going with
You suckered, you did. And of course, the good news is both my daughters went. So there was 3 years apart. I've never had so much fun. I've never laughed so hard than being with this guy. I'm telling you, men are not supposed to say they love somebody that's another man. I love this man. I have never in my life had such a great time. And anyway, but let's get to the real meat of the business here today. I'm going to tell y'all 3 stories. And those 3 stories are going to tell you why the Wreaths Across America project got started and why it's important. I'm going to start off with saying, do you know that a veteran can die twice? Are you aware of that? The first time when they stop breathing, and the second time, the second time is when we stop saying their name. So every year we go out to the DFW National Cemetery and we say their name. But let's talk about how it even got started. Merle Worcester lives in Maine, and he has a tree farm and a holiday wreath factory. And when he was 12 years old, he and about 10 other boys, paper boys, won a trip to Washington, D.C. So on that trip to Washington, D.C., he got to go to Arlington National Cemetery. How many of you have ever been to Arlington National Cemetery? Is that not awesome? Awesome. And he noticed the military precision. You can look down the road this way and they're straight. You can look down the road this way and they're straight. Or you can look at an angle and they're straight. So it stayed with him. And in 1992, at the end of the holiday season, he had 5,000 wreaths left over. And so he goes, what am I going to do with these? So he contacted Olympia Snowe, who was the senator for the great state of Maine. And he said to her, I've got these wreaths. Can I take and put them at the Arlington National Cemetery? And she said, well, let me make a couple of phone calls. Literally 10 minutes later, called him back and said, not only can you do it, you're going to do it in the oldest section we've got because it's the least served section. And we're going to have volunteers there. They had people from the Rotary Club, American Legions, DFWs, DAR, Daughters of the American Revolution, there to help unload the truck when it got there. And they took those 5,000 wreaths and laid them on the headstones of those veterans there. And that was in 1992, and very quietly, up until 2005, he donated wreaths every year. And it was a very well-kept secret. But in 2005, this picture here with the wreaths on the headstones and the snow at Arlington National Cemetery hit the internet, and it went ballistic. 2006, he had 65 or 70 national cemeteries and regular cemeteries say, hey, we want to do this. How can we get involved? So he said, okay. And so they started buying the wreaths from him and then putting them out there. Then in 2007, now he's over 200 and some odd. And he's going at cemeteries and he's going, I can't keep this inside my business anymore. It's screwing up my paperwork. So he formed a 501c3. Since 2007, just this past year, there's now over 2,500 cemeteries. And last year, they put out somewhere around 2.5 to 3 million wreaths across the United States. In 2018, for the first time, they started putting them on the national cemeteries in foreign countries. Now, do you know how many national cemeteries we have in foreign countries? 25 to 30, maybe more. And guess who owns them? The United States. Those cemeteries where that land was deeded to the United States by those foreign countries, and we take care of them. And that's very important. So that's how wreaths across America got started. So now it's out at DFW National Cemetery, and that started in 2011. 2010, Chris and Mary Bush, their son Chris, was killed in Afghanistan. And when they, in 2010, and when they went out there in December, there was nothing there. They were going out there to lay some flowers, and they had heard about wreaths across America. So they called them up and said, hey, what do we got to do? And they said, well, you got to get with the DFW National Cemetery. You got to get them to say you can do it, but you're going to be responsible for everything. They will not help you in any way other than opening the gates, and they'll spend no money or time on it. Now, that's not completely true. They got their crew there that make sure that maintenance is done when everything's gone. But so in 2011, Chris and Mary went out to the cemetery, and they did 250 wreaths and had 50 people help. Okay, this past year, we were able to lay 48,500 wreaths. And we covered every veteran out there. Now, how long does it take to lay 48,500 wreaths? Anybody have an idea?
Forever?
No, but thank you for saying so. It took 2 hours. You say, how do you do it in 2 hours? It's simple. We had 5,000 people out there to help us. They were out there and helped us lay those wreaths. Now, I said that a veteran dies twice, and the second time when you stop saying their name. The requirement to lay a wreath out there at the cemetery, any cemetery, is you take one wreath at a time. You go up to the headstone and we kneel and we lay the wreath and we say, Sergeant Jones, thank you for your service. Thank you for defending our Constitution and protecting us against enemies, both foreign and domestic. Now, here's the tricky part. At my age, when you get down, you got to have a way to get back up. So we say that every year. That's okay. So you say, well, Larry, how did you get involved? Freak accident. In January of 2019, I got a postcard in the mail. And the postcard said, Dear Mr. Allen, thank you for your service and everything you've done to keep our country free. And we have laid a wreath in your honor out at DFW. It was a young lady that grew up with Amy, okay? Amy met her when they were 4 years old. And when we moved out of Garland to Plano, Christy Holland stayed there and then moved up to Missouri for a while and then came back. But when she come back, she got married, has a lovely family, and they worked the cemetery in 2018 and laid a wreath for me. So when I got this card, I got to looking at it and said, wow, this is amazing. What can I do to help give back to our veterans? So I got a hold of a friend of, Mary and Chris Bush. I got a hold of them. They said, well, you got to become a sponsor group. Okay, what's a sponsor group? Well, at the DFW National Cemetery, off and on, they have anywhere from 100 to 106 sponsor groups. Some of them are Boy Scouts. Some of them are Girl Scouts. Some of them are Rotary Clubs. Some of them are DFW. I mean, Veterans of Foreign Wars. So I thought, okay, but I also recognize that if we're going to take donations, we're going to have to be able to go to some large companies. We're going to have to be able to go to corporations. So with the help of the Marine Corps League that I'm part of, they have a lawyer there. He helped us do the paperwork for it. We became a 501c3. So anybody that donates, if they want the donation receipt, we can do that. If you're a corporation, we can give that. But that's only part of why I did it. I was asked by Bill earlier, Larry, are you a Vietnam veteran or a Vietnam era veteran? Well, a real personal reason why I'm involved in this is on December 2nd, 1969, I was an Amtracker. An Amtrak is a great big 22-ton green vehicle that goes in and out of the water. Comes off the back of an LST. And for those that don't know what an LST is, it's a ship that literally can lower its back gate, fills water in. The Amtraks can roll up, get up and go onto the hard deck. Then they pump that water out and then off they go. Well, December 2nd, we hit bad weather. And it got the ship, LST's flat bottom. And if you've never been on a flat bottom boat in the middle of the ocean that's rough, it's worse than a roller coaster ride. So our tractors broke loose and the Navy and their intelligence sent us out there to dog them down. We were out there dogging them down. And dogging it's basically cables that you slip into a hole there in the floor and bring it up, and then you start ratcheting it down and it holds the four corners. we had 3 corners done, and Don Greiger, who was with me, he was my driver. The tractors behind us hit, slid in together. It sounds like a train wreck. Honest to God, train wreck. Scared us to death. But we were close. And Don said, no, Larry, what I want you to do is go on and get into the tractor. So literally, I walked to the tractor, crawled up into the tractor, and within 10 seconds of me leaving to go, Sean walked in between the tractors, and this one slid into him, killed him instantly. I didn't go to Vietnam. That ship was turned to the Philippines because we had to unload Don's body, send him home. That whole ship, all the Marines that were aboard, the artillery, the jeeps, the tractors, we didn't go. So that's why I didn't go. But after I started doing this, I was able to find Don's grave up in Milwaukee. Luckily, I got a cousin that lives up in Milwaukee. And I called Eddie up and I said, Eddie, I need some help. And, you know, he knows me and he's going, oh, geez, Larry, what do you need? I said, my Amtrak driver was killed in Vietnam, or off the coast of Vietnam, and he's buried up there in St. Mary's Cemetery. If I send you 2 wreaths, would you take them out there and lay them and say his name? Well, know why 2 wreaths? Because his daddy is laying right next to him, World War II veteran. Every year since 2019, 2 wreaths go up there, and Eddie lays the wreath for me, and he videos it, and I share it on Facebook to let people know about it. I'm very passionate about this. It's, you know, we have a lot of organizations that take care of veterans, the homeless veterans, those that need rides, those that are sick. Who takes care of our dead veterans? Do you know of any group that really takes care of them? Reach Across America does. And so my objective is to take and make sure we say those veterans' names every year, and we go out there and lay the wreaths. Now, the DFW National Cemetery was founded in April of 2000. Since then, there's 3 projects going on out there to expand it. I told you last year, 48,500 wreaths. The year before, 45,500 wreaths. I know you're not aware of this, but there are 20 to 25 ceremonies a day at the DFW National Cemetery for veterans. When I say I use the group all of us working on wreaths. We're going to need over 53,000 wreaths this year. And I can't do it alone. When I say our 106 groups, we can't do it alone. So we go out and we talk to people. We go to corporations. We go to lawyers. We go to insurance companies, car dealers, anybody that will listen to us for 10 minutes. And we just say, hey, we need a donation. How much is a wreath? It's $15. You can do it online, which the card that is on the table there, at the bottom, you'll see a website you can go to. If you go to that website, you can and click on it. It will bring it up and it'll give you a space to go and sponsor wreaths. Click on it. How many have bought off of Amazon? Okay. If you can buy off of Amazon, you can do this. They're $15 a piece. You can buy as many as you want. The website you go to directly gives our group, North Texas Wreaths of Honor, the credit for doing that. I should have bragged earlier today when y'all were doing y'all's bragging. Out of the 106 groups we have at the DFW National Cemetery, our little group, 14 veterans, was ranked number 3 out of 106. We were ranked number 8 in the state of Texas for what we've done. And of course, you know what happens when when you do that well, we were able to get over 5,000 wreaths. So I put in the number of 7,500 for this year. And guess what? It's a big hill to climb. We're a little over 15 now. We're halfway through. And so I'm out talking to people, trying to get donation. And people in here probably know somebody that owns a company that's veteran friendly, an insurance company, maybe knows a law firm, or anybody that has money they'd like to donate to the veterans, our group, so that we can get over 7,500. It's very, very important to me personally, and I take it personal if I don't meet the goal. So today, what can you do for me? Me, Reese Across America, North Texas, Reese of Honor. I keep saying that. And of course, it's not me alone, trust me. But we're looking for donations, either from the Rotary Club as a club, individual, the club and individuals, or anybody you know. I'll be glad to hand you more stacks of these cards if you want to give them to family and friends, to be able to go out and deliver a $15 donation to us, or whatever you feel like you can do, so that we can take and meet our goal this year. Like I said, 53,500 plus. That's what we're doing there. Now, the last thing, and this is way far ahead, but we have to find other ways. I mean, other than coming up to Bill and Bill pulling out his wallet and helping us out, we're going to do a golf tournament on April 21st next year out at Firewheel. And we're in the process of trying to find people that want to be donors there, or sponsors, I guess is the right word. Somebody that wants to sponsor a hole, somebody who wants to sponsor a lunch, or whatever it is. And we're going to have 2 golf courses tied up. We're looking for 200 plus foursome. No, 200 golfers. That would be 800, wouldn't it? That'd be a lot of people. But I'm a Marine, you know, our math isn't very good.
You said it.
Yes, ma'am. Well, I'm surprised you didn't show up with Crayolas to give me. That's the big deal for Marines.
We heard y'all ate them.
We do. But don't try the purple ones. They just don't taste right. But again, if you know anybody that would like to take and sponsor or even play golf, you know, I'll leave my business card. You can take and email me or let me know that y'all would like to get involved. But basically, I want to thank y'all for letting me come today. I really want to thank y'all for getting Coach Thomas here. What a great day it was for me. And, you know, Kathy's going to be jealous.
You got to give her a hug.
Yeah, well.
And give my girl you have grandkids.
We have 2. Coach, they're coming to town. You know, I got a communist for a son-in-law. He lives up in Detroit. Nobody's here from Detroit, are you? That's not really true. He was drafted by the Little Caesars Pizza Company to come up and become their financial guy, and he's a really great guy. What I really like about him, I've got 2 of the best grandsons you've ever had in your life. Now, Andy's getting ready to turn 16 on the 12th of this month. Bubba will turn 15 on the 27th of December. Both of them are over 6 foot tall. Coach. Oh, I'll show you a picture in a minute. You know, I hate to say it, but I look up to my grandsons. So anyway, but I'm going to end with that. If you can do something for me, please let me know. I'll give you a business card, but I need your help and anybody you know that can help us achieve the goal of covering every veteran this year. Thank you. Oh, yes, sir.
I'll make a commitment to donate $500.
Fantastic. Take back all the bad things you're saying about that man.
That's right.
I'll ask my wife if I can match.
Oh, wow. I just tell my wife we're going to match it. And she says, I got the checkbook. You can't do anything.
Everybody here needs to do something.
And even if it's only one, I understand that.
Yeah.
You know, the economy has gone to hell in a handbasket. My 401k in the last year and a half has dropped $50,000. I'm now collecting aluminum cans on the side of the road so I can get food for us. But $15, I mean, just don't go to McDonald's for once.
My bookkeeper is online now, so don't tell him that we'll do 100.
Fantastic. Thank you very much. Oh, on the card, you can really help in another way too. On the card, it says, guess what? December 17th, which is a Saturday, we'll be laying wreaths out there. If you want to come, I promise you, the experience is one of the greatest things you'll ever have. If you've never been to a national cemetery and seen it at Christmas time with the wreaths, you've missed it.
Yeah, what time is that? What time of day? All day
Oh, ma'am.
on the 17th?
Well, the ceremony, you know, they always got to have a ceremony. They'll probably have some politician out there or some general that's going to talk to us and tell us all that. So basically it starts at 10 o'clock. They get all the stuff going. And then at noontime, directly at noon, you'll be able to then open the boxes and start putting wreaths out. But don't get there at 10 o'clock. If you do, you're not going to find a place to park. We have our little group, we cheat. We've got with St. Pius Church, and we rented 2 buses last year. We had about 75 or 80 people go out there on buses. Buses are good. Buses are good. We get special treatment to be able to get into the cemetery and to get out. If you go out there in your vehicle, you're going to have to park on one side of the road that goes through there. And then you're going to have to get in the traffic jam to get out, because out there on Mountain Creek Parkway, you will see out on the median, you'll see hundreds of cars where people have come. So get there early if you're going. You will enjoy it. If you've got children or grandchildren, bring them. They need to know what we're doing today. Our kids are not taught like they used to be. When I was growing up, I will tell you, I think my 6th grade education is better than some of the colleges that are going today. So the children need to know. I mean, somebody asked them the other day, well, what's the 4th of July? And the kids go, well, that's when we have hot dogs and we set off fireworks. They had no clue what July 4th was. Somebody asked them about December 7th and said, well, that's a couple of weeks before Christmas. Had no idea that Pearl Harbor took place. A lot of other questions are asked of, when was the Declaration of Independence signed? Everybody says July 4th, right? Yeah, it wasn't. But everything was underway before then. So,
Larry, so anyone can volunteer to show up that day?
absolutely. Even you can.
Even thugs.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But what we can do perhaps, and although it wouldn't be until December, is we can set up a service project sign up. So, yeah, we can do that.
I promise you'll enjoy it. I can't wait to get it. I'm so stupid though. I go out the day before. Now, why do I go out the day before? Because we got to have people to unload somewhere around 15 tractor trailer loads of wreaths. And they're in boxes of 9.
And that would be something our club could probably assist with as well.
Now don't take this wrong, but if you got younger kids, 16, 18, 20, bring them, because I'm 73 and I promise you, I have a tough time hauling those things around. So this past year, guess what we did? We got a hold of the baseball team out at at the University of Texas at Dallas, and they brought out the baseball team, and they helped. Then we got a hold of some of the recruiters for the Marines, the Air Force, and the Navy, and they go and to the high schools, and they get some of the high school kids to come out there and do it. We need young legs because these legs just don't work like that
We
anymore.
have David and Michael, they're really young.
Yeah. Oh, I saw them guns. But any other questions? Okay. Any online?
Have we figured out the?
Well, again, I can't thank y'all enough for inviting me to come.
Larry, thank
I got to get your number before I leave because Kathy, you and I and your wife need to get together.
Some of my best evenings Saturday nights at the little restaurant.
Cavino's. Oh, y'all know about Cavino's?
Oh, yeah.
Still open?
Yeah.
Still
Are
open.
they-
I mean, at one point they closed.
Well, of course they did. I mean,
They're back open.
tell me a restaurant that didn't close.
Yeah.
Wait the last week.
Anyway, here you go. Thank you.
Don't go anywhere just yet. So what we do in appreciation of our kind folks like yourself that come and give presentations to our club and educate us on wonderful projects like the Wreaths of Honor is we make a donation to the Rotary Foundation to end polio.
Okay.
So we make a donation of $10, which is matched by the Bill and Melinda Gates Foundation.
Okay.
So you will be getting a thank you in the mail from Rotary International for contributing to End Polio Now.
I'm not going to get a thank you from Bill.
No, I don't.
Oh, that wasn't nice. Me and Bill don't see eye to eye. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
No, we appreciate it. When I was growing up, when I was like 4 or 5 in the little projects that we lived in, there was a young girl there that had polio, and she lived in an iron lung. And we used to go over and see Claudia Ann. And, you know, I'd ask Mama, why is she in there? And she said, well, she's got, and she, you know, I think she lived to be about 16 and never got out of the iron lung. So we've come a long way since then. And it's great and wonderful. So thank you.
According to the slide up there, there's only 2 remaining countries and it's been reduced by 99.9%.
Wow. Wow.
So
That's wonderful. It really is. That's a nasty disease.
it is. And you made me tear up. Your presentation just really hits close to home. I told you we're very military.
Well, I got through it a lot better than I normally do, especially when I talk about Don, because think about this. 10 seconds. How long is 10 seconds? Thank you.
Yeah.
That's the difference between me being here and not being here. Because Don sent me early. And 10 seconds later, he dies. I could have waited for him, but he insisted. Otherwise, we'd have both been killed. My wife would have been a rich widow, but
I'm sure she prefers you being here.
Yeah.
well, yeah. There's sometimes she does. And sometimes she does.
Well, we talked about that. You know, she's trained you up for 53 years.
Yes,
So
yeah. It didn't always work with him, but she trained him up.
Yeah.
all right. Well, that was a great presentation. It really spoke to my heart. So I hope that y'all got a lot out of it. And I'm hoping that someone will volunteer to be a champion for a service project for Plano West to go out there and lay some wreaths or help unloading them. I think that would be a phenomenal project. And I bet I could get all of my family out there as well. So I think that would be awesome. So next week, July 12th.
Newlyweds.
Yes.
If they're living here, they don't know where they're gonna live.
So same time next week, we are meeting here with District Governor Howard Templin. The board is meeting immediately prior to it here at 11. So,
Are other people invited?
yes, yes, absolutely. The more the merrier. I'm sure Howard would love it. Yes, ma'am.
Or remind everybody, please.
Oh, eat some brownies. Okay, and with that, we've got our fabulous David is going to do the four-way test for us.
Okay, Plano West Rotary, the four-way test of things we think, say, or do. 1, is it the truth? 2, is it fair to all concerned? 3, will it build goodwill and better friendships? 4, will it be beneficial to all concerned? Rotary! Yay!
Thank you, guys. With that, we'll ring the bell and be done.
So you know what? I think I did an ON yesterday. That may have been what messed things up.